Is Alexander Usyk a top 10 heavyweight boxer of all time? Let's talk about it. Kevin's Corner. Let's get it. What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Good evening to those out there in YouTube land. It's your boy Big Kev coming to you live from the Kevin's Corner studios in beautiful, hot Phoenix, Arizona. Well, we had a weekend of combat sports. They jam-packed and managed somehow to cram 3 boxing events and 1 UFC event all into one Saturday afternoon / Saturday evening. So I'm going to start with the boxing because when it comes to combat sports, that is my first love, is boxing. So, and it happened overseas across the pond. Cheerio. The undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Alexander Usyk, took on, in a rematch, Daniel Dubois. The first fight had a little controversy. Daniel Dubois hit him with a body shot on the belt line, but the referee called it a low blow. Alexander Usyk went down immediately after that body shot and was down on the canvas for way more than 10 seconds. So it would have been a knockout and Dubois would have been heavyweight champion of the world. But the referee said it was a low blow, allowed Usyk to get up and recover, and to Usyk's credit, came back, knocked out Dubois. So Saturday night, we were thinking we were going to get the same barn burner that we got in the first fight. And au contraire, mon frere, we were wrong. Alexander Usyk whooped that boy's butt for 5 rounds, knocked him out expeditiously in the 5th round, dominated the whole fight, cementing his legacy as this era of heavyweights. I will give him this. He is the best heavyweight of this generation. But, you know, in YouTube land and social media, sports kingdom that's going on right now, people are super prisoners of the moment. They immediately, after this fight was over, said he was a top 10 heavyweight of all time. I said, now, wait a minute. I had to go pull the records. I had to go check his resume. I was like, wait. Because he came up from cruiserweight. Then he went to light heavyweight. Then he went to heavyweight. And his record is only 24-0. I was like, wait a minute. How many heavyweights did he actually fight in this generation? And it turns out he's only had 8 fights in the heavyweight division. And 3 of them were repeats. He beat Anthony Joshua twice. He beat Tyson Fury twice. And he beat Daniel Dubois twice. That's 6 out of the 8 right there. His other 2 was against Daniel Chisora. Trash. Not a real good heavyweight. And his other one was against David Bellew, Bellew. He was the guy, he was the villain in Creed Part 1 up against Michael B. Jordan's character. I think his name was Pretty Ricky something. But his name was Ricky Fontaine? Not Fontaine. But he was the main villain, the main antagonist in Creed Part 1. So yes, he's a boxer in real life. That's it. That's all. That's the list of who Usyk has defeated in the heavyweight division. So the only top tier heavyweights that he has beaten is Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. That's it. Dubois not a top heavyweight. Chisora for dang sure ain't a top heavyweight. heavyweight, and David Bellew was more of a light heavyweight. Came up to heavyweight towards the end of his career, once he started putting on old man weight. So, sorry to the Gen Z and all these new sports fans who are just prisoners of the moment. Usyk is not a top 10 heavyweight of all time. I think he would have got washed in the 90s with the heavyweight division that I grew up watching, 80s baby, 90s teen. There's no way this dude is beating Evander Holyfield, Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson. I don't even think he's beaten some of the lower tier heavyweights of the 90s. David Bruno or Razor Ruddock. He would have a tough time against old man George Foreman. Old man George Foreman was a problem in the 90s. So I'm going to have to say no. I'm going to have to say no. He's only had 8 fights in the heavyweight division, and he's only beaten two top tier heavyweights in this division. And he for darn sure wouldn't have lasted the heavyweights my dad's generation grew up fighting, because those brothers fought 15 rounds instead of 12. So the Muhammad Ali's, Larry Holmes, Joe Frazier, Ken Norton. Let me see. Ali, Frazier, Ken Norton. Who else was in that world? I'm trying to think who Ali knocked out a prime George Foreman. Prime, when George Foreman was the most feared man in heavyweight boxing. So I don't think Usyk would have lasted in the 70s, 80s, or 90s in the heavyweight division. What the heavyweight division had to offer. And a prime Mike Tyson, Lord, stop. That man was knocking out people in 30 seconds. He is the reason why we have fight parties right now. Because people were wasting money on, I cannot believe another siren is going through. Y'all just ignore that. Ignore that. Man, they wait until I turn this microphone on now. Everybody want to call the police and the ambulance. Anyways, try to knock me off my train of thought. Mike Tyson is the reason why we have fight parties today, because people are wasting money on pay-per-views. You invite a bunch of friends over and the fight was over in 30 seconds. Before you could get up, go to the kitchen, get you a snack, get you a beverage, get you some nachos or whatever was on the menu that night. The fight was already over. So no. Alexander Usyk, not a top 10 heavyweight of all time. He's a top, maybe top 15, maybe top 20 when it comes to just heavyweights. Is he pound for pound one of the greatest of all time? Yes. What he's done in his short career in only 24 fights, I put him up there pound for pound as one of the greats. But top 10 heavyweight of all time, y'all need to stop. Y'all need to stop right now. Tyson, Holyfield, Lennox Lewis, Ali, Frazier, Ken Norton, prime George Foreman, or old man George Foreman, Larry Holmes, Razor Ruddock, David Bruno. Yeah, no. He doesn't crack my top 10 unless, he doesn't crack my top 10. Absolutely not. Rocky Marciano, Joe Louis, Jack Johnson. Stop. Cause some of those guys went 15 rounds and the generation before that, they fought until there was a victor. They fought until somebody got knocked out. Some fights went 15 rounds, 20 rounds, 30 rounds, 40 rounds. They went until somebody got knocked out. So no, Usyk, no, absolutely not. No, I can't do it. Can't do it. Not going to do it. Can't do it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Is Usyk a top 10 heavyweight boxer of all time? I say no. I say, oh, hell no. Because I know the heavyweights of my generation that we grew up watching would dispose of him, and everybody else in this heavyweight division would get mopped up by the heavyweights we grew up watching, and definitely the heavyweights that came before us. So Kevin's Corner, when you're done with them educated fools, come to the corner where it's cool. Good to be back. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.